Let's also connect then with Vinit Bolinjkar, who's joining in from Ventura Securities. Vinit, let's start off then with what your outlook is, given the fact that you have support coming in from some of the defensives. Yesterday, for instance, when we saw the rest of the market collapse, you did have the FMCG names sort of cushioning that volatility. Do you believe that this would be a safe space to hide?
Yes, definitely, because we are going to see a rotation out of IT stocks, given what is happening in the Western world and our exposure to the Western economy. And the first place that you will obviously go is into the defensives. So we believe that the likes of HUL, Nestle, Procter and Gamble, Hygiene, all these stocks should do relatively well compared to the rest of the market.
Okay, that's a take coming in on some of these consumption names. Vineet, I also want your take on Reliance, but before that, I'll invite you to listen into the exclusive story that my colleague Anurag is breaking. He's talking about how they're likely to go big when it comes to their financial services business. Remember, that is being headed by Mr. Kamath, and now we understand that insurance is something that they're likely to foray into as well. Let's go across to Anurag to understand it better.
This is all set to start their insurance business, although they have yet to receive IRD approval, IRD license they are yet to receive. But as per our sources, the hiring for the insurance business has started, and few ex-PSU employees has been hired by the company, and KV Kamath, who is a chairman of Geo Financial Services. So few big names of ICICI Group is also expected to join insurance business of Geo Financial Services. Company will be venturing into both life and non-life business, and the plan, the roadmap will be unveiled in a forthcoming AGM. Apart from that, we know that Geo Financial Services plans to enter into wealth management, including lending. So technology will play an important role in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So that is the plan. An exciting time for insurance industry is also going ahead, because we are seeing from last 4 years that the insurance industry is growing with double-digit growth, showing the double-digit growth, and now government is coming up with a new Insurance Amendment Act also, which has proposed the composite license and the specific insurance companies. So seeing all these, so they will see a exciting time, some sort of disruptions also in the insurance sector, and companies like LIC is also changing their strategy, preparing new strategy, because Geo Financial Services is planning to enter in insurance business in a big way.
So, Vineet, you must have heard my colleague. What's your take of how big can Reliance actually get when it comes to financial services insurance? Could this really be something to get worried about for the other insurance companies and overall the financial services space?
It's a very competitive market as far as insurance concerned, and there are almost 24 players. And when you're adding one more, it doesn't really matter much. The guys who have got the lead in these sectors will continue to dominate, and Reliance will take a while to build out their business. And just because Reliance is getting into the business, just does not make sense to think that they will be able to, you know, uh, dominate the segment. It's all going to dependent on, the strategy, the growth prospects, and how they approach the insurance space.
What about Reliance itself? Would you say that the risk reward is favorable for the stock at the moment? At least that's the view coming in from CLSA at 2100, 2200. It's a value buy for them.
So see, Reliance is a dominant player in the futuristic businesses that they have, and we believe that Adani and Reliance were the major gainers in the hydrogen space. But with Adani having funding issues, I think it leaves only Reliance out there. And the Reliance has got a good action plan to build on these, the domain space. And hence, we believe that they can be a viable contender and do well with that. Further, they also have a lot of levers in play with regards to retail and the geo IPOs that can come. And hence, we believe that this stock at current levels is has got reasonable value to go back to the previous highs.
Pull up some names within the banking space and the Nifty Bank Index in particular as well, because that too is moving from strength to strength as we speak. Names like an Axis Bank are powering that move on the upside. You've got an ICICI Bank as well looking fine. RBL Bank, for instance, is at the day's high. IDFC First Bank, even names like PNB, etc. They're all abuzz in today's trading session. So Kunal, just revisiting some of those private banking names and levels on the Nifty Bank Index, given that we're at 39,943.
Yeah, I think things have been changing quite positively for Bank Nifty now. I think we'll have to look at it in this manner that the Bank Nifty is raising its supports. So from yesterday 39,000, today we are almost at 39,500 as a strong support. Assuming in the next say 15-20 minutes, if we cross back about the 40,000 mark on the spot levels, then I think there could be renewed amount of put writing at the 40,000 option strike for the index. So that would indicate another 500 points jump on the support for the index, and that I believe is a very strong sign, because the more the supports keep on rising up higher, the more is the propensity of the markets to absorb any kind of a correction. So if the supports rise up by 1,000 odd points, then it indicates that the markets have a lot of buffer in terms of absorbing any kind of major market volatility. So I believe that these are good signs. Large cap stocks making a comeback. So you try and look at the list of stocks today. It's not the usual, the mid cap and the small cap PSU banks or the private sector banks which are actually doing well. It's the large caps formidable name. That I believe is also a sign that the move could be more endurable for the Bank Nifty. So particularly on the likes of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank making a strong comeback for itself, Axis Bank I think about 850 plus levels. IndusInd Bank has also managed to show some good price performance. So large cap solid names making a comeback is always a healthy sign. I would just wait out for a confirmation about the 40,000 mark. So assuming in the next 15-20 minutes we manage to break past about those levels, we can decisively expect that the markets could probably move the supports higher to 39,500 to 40,000 plus for the Bank Nifty.
30,000 is critical on the Nifty Bank, and yes, while it is the large caps that are leading the way, there's also names, as we flagged off, like a CSB Bank that are doing quite well, a DCB Bank, for instance. So across the board, you can see some of those names that are perking up in trade. But on the flip side as well, take cognizance of the likes of a TeamLease, for instance. That stock is seeing a price volume breakdown. There's SIS as well that's come under a bit of pressure. Just pull up some of these names on your screen. Fine Organics, for instance, too, is another stock within the Nifty 500 that's under a bit of pressure. Let's get in a view on the charts, Naresh. TeamLease, SIS and Fine Organics.
So, say a lot of these stocks have been in a downtrend. TeamLease has been in a downtrend for quite some time. It saw a big volume dump around the 2,900 mark. It's not been able to cross that. So, would be still an avoid. Same is the case with Fine Organics. A major top is in place at 7,000. It's been a slow drift. This could continue lower only unless and until we start crossing 5,000 levels, which is still very far away. So all these names are stocks which were expensive on valuation parameters, and a lot of stocks which have topped out in this category have just continued to drift lower and lower. So would not say look out for a buy on dips here or try to bottom fish. Just avoid it.
Stay away from some of these stocks as of now. Kunal, I wanted to also quickly get in your take on gold prices as well, because we had seen it scale up, hitting those yearly highs, and now I think there has been a little bit of a retreat. What's your take?
Well, it's bound to be that after such a 6,000 odd point gain on the rupee terms and more than I think $100 plus mark on the dollar terms, it's bound to be that the gold prices would get into a correction, and it's more to do with the risk adjustment. So since the last many days, it was more to do with the gold being a safe haven and money flowing into that kind of an asset class. But now when the markets have settled back into some sort of a bounce on the equities, it's bound to be that gold will also take a bit of a setback. But I believe that we have to look at this in the next 1 to 3 month kind of a context from here on. So something which we flagged off, for example, in the fag end of 2022, that gold and silver would be the two asset class which would dominate the first few months for 2023 and get into a strong recovery. I would now expect that this recovery and the rally which started off for gold would now trickle into the next 3 to 6 month kind of an uptrend. So I would expect at least another 5 to 10% kind of an upside for gold in dollar prices. So that should probably take the Indian rupee gold prices back towards 62,000, 63,000 zone over the near term.
Okay, at least a 5 to 10% gain on the US gold prices. That's word coming in from Kunal. But Vinit, just before we let you go, you have a knack for finding those niche stock ideas. Do you have anything particular that's looking interesting to you at this point of time? Top stock bets?
We stick to the large caps, and we like AC International. We believe that the company has got a very good order book. It's got 6 to 7 verticals that it operates across. And although the stock has been up a bit in recent times, we still believe that its valuations are very, very benign, and we expect this stock to perform handsomely going ahead.
So KC International, that's a top bet coming in from Vinit. We'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us today